Hey everyone, on this episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar, we are getting crazy. We are welcoming Plantation Rum and their 138 proof. 138 proof? Holy shit, watch this episode.
Can I sit here?
What's going on, everybody? I am Don Ferguson and welcome back to another episode of Something New in the Teak Life Basement Bar. And we are just going to get right into it because this is going to be either amazing or fucking dangerous. We are trying Plantation's 138 proof rum. While I find a glass that won't disintegrate while I drink it, here's some more information about it. Let's just jump into it. If you haven't heard about Plantation Rum before, whoo, you are in for a big treat, especially with this one. Now this is an artisanal rum, Plantation is, but this is their OFTD. What the hell does OFTD stand for? Old Fashioned Traditional Dark. It's very dark. 69% ABV, which equals a whopping and crazy 138 proof. I don't even think I've ever heard of a rum that high. Alright, maybe I have. I don't. But I haven't tried one. So this is a blend of rums from Barbados, Jamaica, and Guyana. It's a molasses-based rum. Now I know what you're saying. Don, what's the difference between a sugarcane-based rum and a molasses-based rum? You're in the right basement bar to talk about this. A sugarcane-based rum is actually a little earthy, mineral-rich, and kind of grassy in nature. A molasses-based rum is very different in character. It can be florally, it can be spicy, it can also be very sweet. And that makes up the different profiles between the two. Now we talked about this being a blend from Barbados, Jamaica, Guyana. So let's talk fermentation. Barbados, 72 hours. Then off to Guyana for a week. And then Jamaica for 2 full weeks. Oh, look at that beautiful, it's like a shipwrecked bottle. Look at that. But what I wanted to point out is the color. And we like to be very upfront and honest, and from our research we did find that sometimes they use cane sugar caramel to adjust the color. Because when you're in different barrels, it can become a little bit lighter, so for consistency, continuity, they may use just a very, 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 very tiny bit of cane sugar caramel. Who cares? Let's get to cracking this open. That's a lot of amazing information about it, but there's one little piece of information that we didn't include right off the bat. This is a liter. This is not a fifth, this is a liter. So I don't know if this is for a Navy, and you'll understand a little bit if you watch all the way through where the Navy kind of reference comes in, but this is a lot. And this is a high proof, so I don't know who's drinking this, but if you watch the show, you know I typically... Ooh, it's coming out. I'll get that molasses. So, you know I typically do a heavy pour, but because this is such a heavy, high proof, I am going to not. That's about it. That's going to make me grow some chest hair. And I don't have chest hair. But, if you wanted some chest hair, you could actually probably drink this. Anyway, let's just go into it. The bottle. I know it's a liter, but this is true to form for a Plantation bottle. They have the embossed. You know, it's almost like a sign saying, "Look, high proof." But what's also really cool about it is it's got Barbados, Jamaica. It's just got a ton going on the label. The story. It's got the crazy guys behind it, the owner, the blender, like everything. So this is almost like when you're a kid and you're eating your cereal before school, you're reading the box. Well, when you're drinking, you want to read the bottle, right? Fantastic. Love what Plantation is doing here. Color. Now, we did talk a little bit about, you know, that caramel that they possibly put into it, but it's just a very tiny fragment, so don't get it, you know, twisted, but It is absolutely a deep, beautiful, rich, dark brown. When you put it in the light, which I have lights in the studio, it is almost like a regal, like golden caramel. Wow, it's really beautiful. Really, really shines in the light. We're just going. Woo! How many of you know about alcohol vapors? Now, there are some shitty vodkas out there that if you nose, which people typically don't nose when it comes out of a plastic container. This one, yeah, you can tell it's high, and these legs, good Lord, it's like the rockets, you know, the legs that, you know, they perform. They are just dripping down uber slow. Like, this is definitely one of the slowest I've ever seen. And I've had some high proof bourbons before in my life. What I'm picking up on the aroma, besides it being a high ABV, I am getting some dried fruit, some plum. I'm getting a little bit of citrus, a little raisin. Rum raisin bread. That sounds amazing. Yeah, you can't inhale extra deep. You might even want to do it to the side, but I'm telling you, like, I won't have to trim these nose hairs for about a month just because of this. Let's just take a taste. I'm going to take a tiny sip just to coat the palate. Remember, friends at home, this is dangerous stuff. It's 138 proof. Oh, wow. It's still, even being that potent, it has a lot going on. It's almost creamy, so it's like a chocolate vanilla creaminess to it. Definitely picking up some cinnamon, so there's a little bit of spice. Raisin for sure. I get oak from all those barrels that they're using. Molasses, and it's also kind of smoky. But boy, ooh, you gotta calm down. You gotta pace yourself here. We all know the story about the tortoise and the hare. Be the tortoise here, for real. Be the tortoise. It is warming up my chest. I mean, if you're gonna drink something, wow, it's really spicy on my throat, and there's just a lot going on. There still truly is, even on the finish, I'm picking up some clove. There's a lot of range of character in the profile. There's so much depth. It is, but my lips are burning, and this ain't a Hot Ones episode. I haven't been eating spicy wings, but there's a lot going on. It is, holy shit, this is definitely potent. Okay, so I know my cheeks are probably red. My esophagus is saying you need to calm down, so we're going to just chill on this for a moment. And one of the things that I wanted to talk about is the age of the sail. And there's a lot of information on this, and you can research it too, but back way in the day, you know, on the ships, whether it be pirate ships, whether it be, you know, the British Navy, they used to actually have a full proof. So they'd want a full proof or an overproof gin or rum to actually bring on board. And what they would do with that is, I don't know if they drink it straight like this, drink it neat and just kind of sip it, but a lot of the times they would make a punch. So you've heard of a rum punch? That's kind of where this would come to play. And with that, or they would cut it with some water as well, which a lot of you bourbon and whiskey fans out there, you know all about that. But if you created a punch out of this, when you dilute it, it's still going to be very strong, and that's truly what they wanted. Now, Plantation Rum has been around since 2012. The founder, master distiller, Alexandre Gabriel, I mean, he has one of my favorites, which is Plantation Pineapple. If you want to try something that's just absolutely exquisite, Plantation Pineapple Rum is phenomenal. When it comes to Plantation, we can't even talk about the awards because they have them all, basically. They are doing some amazing things, but this one here is kind of special and near and dear to Alexandre's heart and soul of what he wanted to accomplish with an overproof rum. And I think he nailed it. But I just don't know if this is something that I can regularly sip because it is so high. You get me around like 100, 110, 108 proof, something like that, I'm good. But wow, this is just so over the top and outlandish. We're going to get my cheeks red again. It has got a really nice sweetness to it. You pick up that molasses. You definitely pick up a lot of dried fruit. There's no doubt the caramel, the cream, but man, it just has some heat to it. So I don't know if this is for the faint of heart whatsoever. Now typically I say my glass is getting empty, but as you can see, it is not. I gotta babysit this like parents are out to dinner. Plantation Overproof. I don't know if it's Teak Life approved, but it's something good. But, oh, you didn't see that. They have another one that came out. Isle of Fiji. This is phenomenal too. Check out the Plantation portfolio because they have just some amazing rums. But that wraps up another episode of Something New here in the Teak Life Basement Bar. Make sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram. If there's something that you want us to try, review, if you're a brand that wants to send us some product to, give it a tasting, there's that email. But more importantly, make sure that you subscribe to the channel and watch the coming Teak Life Truth. You're going to like this one. Alright, we just tried an amazingly high proof rum from Plantation Rum, actually one of my favorite rum brands. So let's talk a little bit more in depth on how to measure proof in alcohol. And back in the day, there was really no precise way. It wasn't until 1816 that the Sykes hydrometer came out. And that was a method on how to precisely measure alcohol strength in liquor. But before that, leave it to the British Royal Navy to figure some shit out. And what they worked out was an over-under method. Here's how they do it. They'd mix a small sample of the spirit with gunpowder. They'd make a paste out of it. They would light it. If it lit, it was a high proof. If it didn't light, well, it was some bullshit. They didn't want it. They wanted that high proof being out on the seas for months at a time. I don't blame them. You gotta do something, right? We now know when it ignited that it was right around 57% ABV. And this was their way of proving it was above a certain strength. Hence the word proof. There you go. It's as simple and as easy as that. But I don't recommend you try that shit at home. Do not mix some high proof liquor with some gunpowder and try to ignite it. Who knows what will happen. But that's a Teak Life Truth. We'll see you on the next episode. Cheers.